That Note with Parker Whirling.
Adeline Hill on That Note. Thanks for coming on the pod.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
So
Thank you for bringing little treats.
Oh, yeah.
What do we have here? What kind of donut?
This is a cinnamon twist donut with an Earl Grey glaze.
Amazing.
Straight from B-side bagels.
B-side bagels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you went to a farmer's market right before this, right?
Yeah.
Where was it?
It's Freedom Farmers Market.
Freedom Farmers.
Yeah.
Oh, like on Freedom Parkway?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
okay.
at the park. Yeah.
I've been there a couple of times back in the day.
Yeah.
I love a farmer's market morning. Like, I know it's so like white bread of me to say, but it's nice.
No, me too. It's my Saturday ritual.
Oh,
and I'm
okay.
like a sucker for a treat. And this line is insane. It's like 30 minutes long.
Of course.
But I wait.
You got to do it.
I got to wait.
Yeah, thanks for bringing treats. I'm going to take this moment to let any potential guests know that I would love treats. Yeah, I'm open to them. Bring any kind. Donuts are a great start. So we got our donuts and coffee here Saturday morning. When you're listening, it's probably Wednesday or Thursday if I'm being lazy. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about your music, your album, A Wide Range of Emotions.
Yeah.
But let's talk about another album that you picked out from my record collection, which is what?
It's Bleachers, the self-titled record.
Nice.
I love them. I've been listening to them for so long, and it's funny because my dad introduced me to them.
Oh wow,
which is kind of sick.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Cool dad.
Yeah, literally. He was like, the song Roller Coaster. He was like, have you listened to them? They're sick. And so
you're like, Dad, I don't need music takes from you.
But then it ended up being sick, and I love them. And I rip this record like every day.
So you've been a fan way before he kind of was producing everyone.
Yeah, he's kind of like a pop king right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of doing it. But
pretty much anybody has worked with him, it seems like.
Yeah, literally.
And I love this album too. I really didn't get into the other ones too much. There were a few songs on the previous album I really liked.
Yeah.
But this one, for some reason, I heard it and like it just kind of changed my mind, especially that first song.
Yeah.
The first song, I'm Right on Time.
Totally right
so
on time.
crazy.
I love Call Me After Midnight.
Yeah.
That one's so fun. And like Self-Respect is sick. Really all of these are cool. I heard Modern Girl for the first time off this record, and I was like, damn, that's fun.
That's funny because Modern Girl, the first time I heard it, I'm like, this is so corny. And then I kept listening. I'm like, okay, it's kind of fun, I guess.
Sense.
And then I showed it to my dad. I'm like, hey, you like Bruce? You probably like this, you know?
Totally.
And he was into it.
Yeah.
But Bleachers is sick. Shout out to Jack Antonoff. He's the man.
He is.
He gets a lot of weird hate, but I don't really get it.
Yeah, he does. I think it's just because of the pop stuff. I feel like maybe people think it's a sellout vibe.
Yeah, and also when people like get so big,
it's
like easy to just target them.
For
I think.
sure, 100%.
But
I like him.
I'm a
Jack
Antonoff apologist here. But cool, yeah, love that album. Also love your album, A Wide Range of Emotions, of course. And you can, yeah. I was gonna say you can set that on the floor. No, I always bring up Desmond Myers. He just had his album in the lap the whole time. And after like 10 minutes, I'm like, I don't feel like I can say anything now. I'm just gonna let him do his thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, A Wide Range of Emotions came out October 18th of last year. Really love this album, giving me like a Japanese house vibes. 1975.
Yeah.
It's really, really well produced.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is all my friends. It's fun because I get to make music with my best friends, and Trent Bilodeau, Tommy Oakley, Alex Thompson, Jordan Mitchell, fun friends, and they produced this and made it what it was. And they like their influences are kind of those people, like Japanese House in 1975 and stuff. So it's funny to see it like bleed over.
Right. I was wondering when I saw that there were, a good handful of producers like the guys you just mentioned. I can imagine to be a tightrope, or like walking a tightrope when it comes to feedback from a bunch of people and ideas from a bunch of people. And even if, you love every idea, you also have a singular vision for yourself for these songs. Yeah. What was it like navigating taking this song that you've written, I'm assuming, on guitar, piano,
Yeah.
to a studio where there's 3 people at least who
Yeah.
are giving you really great ideas, and you want to make sure it comes out the other end how
Yeah.
you were hoping?
That's a good question. I feel like, well, first off, it was actually really fun to like have a bunch of opinions and people working on it. I think I get like pretty stuck when I'm by myself. So it was fun and like fascinating to hear people's takes. And a lot of like the demos on this record ended up being like completely different than the final product, which it's fun for me to kind of like watch the journey of a song. But yeah, it was definitely like a learning curve too. I feel like I feel like this record was super like passed off in a lot of ways, obviously, because it's a bunch of different people working on it, but it ultimately just became fun. Like we'd all kind of just be throwing out ideas, and they'd eventually be like, okay, switch. And like someone would get in the chair and like add something else. So I think we all really work well with like collaborative teamwork.
Yeah. And,
when someone hits a wall, it's like, okay, tap in.
Yeah.
You know.
Was there a discussion or either ahead of time or discussions throughout the process of making this album where you guys were very like communicative about what you wanted for each song, and how did those conversations usually go?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I don't think there was like really a plan.
Okay.
Which is funny. I feel like the
Just
next
winging it.
record, it's definitely more of like a set group, and we're all super like writing everything together, and like it's starting as more of like a collaborative group effort versus me just bringing in a song that I did. Like it's funny, like this record, a lot of these songs I wrote like 5 years ago. Like they've just been sitting on my phone. And I was kind of like, okay, I need to put these out. And I'm like, I feel like I just got to a place where I was like, these need to come out. And so I feel like this next record, what we're working on right now, is super like, we're all working on it together. So there's a little bit more of like a vision beforehand, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but.
totally. I mean, the first one, maybe there's not so much of a foundation yet, so you're just kind of doing whatever feels right.
Yeah.
And after you've done the first album,
Yeah.
now you have a basis
For sure.
to go off of.
Yeah.
So what are some of the lessons that you learned on this first album that you're going to take with you into the next?
Yeah. Honestly, like, I think if you let a song sit too long in like demo world, I personally get demo-itis.
Totally.
Like, I'm like, this is how it should be, But I think I learned, like, because there were so many people working on it, like, it's gonna change and it's gonna grow and become different. And that's like fun, and to let it happen. And like, I think we're right now when we write a song, it's super like just bass, like bottom level, like there's lyrics and there's, maybe some like piano,
some
guitar,
chords.
like, yeah. But I don't really want to build it out too much until we're all in a room together.
Yeah.
And now I have like a set band. And so we get in and like start live tracking stuff, and that's been really fun, like versus just like having, demos sit for 4 years and then be like, well, it's hard to like be creative when you like
4 years, that's a long time.
Totally. So that's probably like a huge lesson, is just like, just get it to be like a full song, and then we'll take it, when we have a day.
Yeah. Do you
If that
find
makes
yourself
sense.
listening to your demos all the time once you've
Yeah.
made it?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, me too.
I put it on in the car. I'm like,
Right.
I don't
Nothing's
know.
changed, but
No.
you're like, nah,
Yeah,
this
I'm like,
still
this?
hits though.
Totally. Yeah, and I'm a sucker for that. But I've tried not to recently. I'm like, just let it be what it is.
Like, let it
and
breathe
don't
a little
overthink
bit.
it. Yeah, I think because I got such bad demo-itis, I'm like, I I just got to let it be what it is.
Right.
So I've started like not bouncing things and not having it on my phone, or just putting it on a note that I'm like, I'll get to that. But I don't want to listen to it constantly.
Right. Yeah. That can be a bad rabbit hole to go down. Because
then, or you'll be like, I suck.
Or that. It's a lot of this, a lot of like ups and downs. But when you're in the studio with these producers, what are the good qualities of a producer that are somebody you want to work with? Like, let's say somebody's never worked with a producer and they're asking, like, how should I pick who I work with? What do you think would be?
Well, for this next record, I'm essentially just having Alex Thompson and Trent Bilodeau produce it. And they're really cool to me because Alex will kind of like spend some time in the weeds, like finding fun sounds, like, and he's like not afraid to like take time on it. And Trent is like, he's the same way, but he's also just like, your first gut instinct is probably right. And he was super instrumental in the last record and just being like, okay, we just like, let's get it out. Like, let's not sit on it too long. And so I think like having both of those personalities is really great. Because you get to like spend time and make it right, but you also have someone who's like super just like loves deadlines and loves getting stuff done, and that's really helpful. Both
sides of the brain.
Totally. But also just like ultimately is like a really fun hang.
Yeah.
And like we're constantly laughing and nothing ever, like, I think that's huge, like for it to not feel like serious, and like I just love that. So that'd probably be my advice, of like just have fun and like find someone who wants you to be yourself and doesn't want you to be like, you know, trying to be something. I think that's something that I'm even growing into more, of just like, I'm just gonna make what I like, and that can be enough, you know?
Absolutely.
That's probably my answer.
That's a great answer. You don't want to feel the pressure to be someone you're not when you're recording the most personal thing that you're writing.
Right.
Like, you want to be as authentic as you can. And
yeah. Because you're going to have to like live with those songs for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
and
literally.
play them. So if they're not you, it's like on your worst days, are you going to want to get up there and, you know, sing something that's not you?
No.
That's draining.
Yeah,
you know?
that's tough. And if you like, you cannot underestimate the power of being a good hang when you're a producer. Like, if people are stressed or anxious in the studio, that's just going to leak into the song, I think.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know, thankfully I don't feel like I've ever felt that way, but that just goes to show every producer I've worked with has always been a good hang, and it comes out the other end, you know, you can tell.
Oh, totally. And I've worked with people who are just like kind of pretentious, and I'm like, that's not fun.
No.
You know, just hang, just laugh.
Do you remember any times in the studio where you were just having the most fun and like it felt like, oh, this is what I should be doing? Anything that sticks out about the making of this album in that way?
I mean, yeah, like I feel like every 10 minutes there's like a new bit that we're doing.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
So many bits.
So many bits. And it's like fine if it derails it for a little bit.
Right.
Like, it's always fun. I feel like everyone's building on each other. I don't know if there's a specific moment, but it's just, you know, doing accents and
you know? Always with the accents. Yeah. Little characters that come and go.
I become like British a lot.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah. Really getting that Japanese breakfast. Totally. Not Japanese breakfast. Damn. Japanese house. Japanese breakfast is also
it's easy
cool.
To get mixed up. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, why are they're both doing this at the same time? Okay. But yeah, that is fun, being able to just joke around with everybody in the studio. When you're in there, are you bringing in other musicians to do all the other instruments, or how much are you trying to, you know, touch a little bit of everything?
Yeah, I So I have like my band, which is awesome. Gabe Baltiglier's on drums, Megan Thompson's on keys, and then Alex and Trent. Trent plays bass and Alex is electric. So I'll come in with like I'm not as good of a player as all of them, so I definitely let them take it. But I do love like starting stuff by myself. Like I love, fucking around on piano and guitar. And even yesterday I ended up writing 2 songs because I was just like on Splice. Like
nice.
Just
love
having
Splice.
fun. Yeah, love Splice.
So fun to mess around on there.
Totally.
Did you ever feel like any sort of wanting to control, this is me projecting by the way, control every aspect of all the instruments that are going into it or anything like that? Because if you can play, like I can play bass, but my producer who I've worked with a bunch, Tommy in Athens, shout out Tommy Troutwine,
Tommy's awesome.
He's the man. Also used to live with him, and
sick.
He would produce these songs. And it's like I can play bass, but he's one of the best bassists I've ever met.
Totally.
So it's so much easier to just let him do it. But you have to relinquish a little bit of control.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like I'm definitely hands off. Like I think I have vision, but I'm definitely like, I don't know what to tell you to do for drums. You know what I mean? Like
you're like, if it sounds good,
hey, you do what you want.
Yeah.
And I think that's more like, it's just like trust, like, and also forming this band is like, I want people to bring in their own ideas. Like I want people to have fun with it. And not feel like there's someone being like, play this. This is how it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Literally.
And everyone's just so talented. It's unreal. I feel like I'm constantly like, damn, I would have never thought of that.
Yeah. That's the best.
And that's sick.
And then those become your favorite parts of the song.
Totally.
Or the things you never would have thought of.
Totally. So I feel like I'm pretty generally hands off. I can kind of see the good in everything. So, and I think it's nice to have people who are pretty like, this is probably what it should be. And I'm like, cool.
Sounds good to me.
I don't know. Yeah.
Did you have any songs, or what would you say is the song you're most proud of when you look back on it?
Ooh, that's hard.
I know it can change.
Yeah. I have like 2 that I love, or just that I'm like, I love that one. The Way It Goes is one of my favorites. That was like towards the end of the record, and I was kind of like, I feel like I just need to be more honest. And I kind of asked myself, like, what would I write if I just like wasn't trying to like prove anything? And that's what I wrote. And so those songs are always special when you're like, I was being honest on that one, on all of them, obviously, but just that was pretty personal to me. And then Hate That I Care was like another one that's just, it was fun for me. And that one has kind of been like people talk to me about that one, which is fun. And I played a release show in October, and that one, like, people knew all the words. Whoa. And were like singing it, and I was like, dang, it's only been out for like a week. And it felt cool. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna remember this for a long time. So,
and you did the live version of it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and you can hear people like, it's funny.
Was it at that show?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, you can hear. I said, like, if you know this bridge, sing it out. And I heard someone be like, I know this bridge. And I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Like, hell yeah, let's go. That's such a cool feeling.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so sick. And like watching stuff translate live is fun.
Totally. Totally. I got to say, Crush.
Oh.
Crush gets me every time I hear that song. Yeah.
Crush is so fun.
There's something about all the little bleeps and bloops happening on that's just like made for me. I love that kind of stuff. But I mean, every song is great, and there's so I mean, it makes sense. It's a wide range of emotions.
Yes.
Every song really does feel so different.
Mm-hmm.
Was that intentional from the jump, or were you just taking it song by song? You were just kind of seeing what happened with it? Because one of them is like, which one is it? I wrote it down. Well, After You.
Yeah.
And Nothing Else Matters are a lot more chill compared to Crushed. Right?
Yes. Oh,
You know?
totally different worlds. I mean, I think the concept for this came after like looking at all of these songs. I think I was like, before it came out, I was super in my head of like, this is not sonically cohesive, like at all. But I think I was like, okay, instead of like getting super hung up on having it be like this like curated thing, I think I should just lean into it. And like, all these songs are fun and deserve to like come out. And so then I was like, okay, well, yeah, it's kind of up and down. It is a wide range of emotions. And I was like sitting in my car and I was like, that's it.
Eureka. Brain blast.
And I was like, oh, okay. And so I don't know if it was really intentional. It was just more like I had all these different songs and I didn't know what like lane to choose. But I was like, well, why not just, there you go.
Yeah.
And so I think I just like leaned into it and had fun with it. And then it eventually made sense.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't see the bigger picture until it presents itself. You just have to trust that it's there.
Oh yeah, totally. But it's fun. I feel like there's also like something for everyone on this record, which is fun. And it was like a good like first record to put out, I think, for me.
Yeah.
And it also like, I just said it wasn't intentional, but now looking back, I'm kind of like, it is nice to see what people grab onto. And then I'm like, okay.
Has there been any surprises in that way?
Oh, I mean, yeah, like Crush for sure.
Really?
Like I feel like people, I didn't expect people to, I don't know. I think it was just so like fun and random for me. And I think something like that like won't maybe be on the next record, but I'm so glad that I did that because it's like, it's just fun.
It's so fun. Yeah.
It's my Charlie XCX.
That's right. That's right.
It was deep in the heart of Brat Summer.
Of course.
When I did that.
Inspired. She inspired the entire world last year.
Yeah. When I did the album release show, we like played around with like hard auto-tune, singing it live. And I was like, yeah, I'm living my Brat Summer.
Got the shades on.
For sure.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see like in 5 years how many like babies she's sprouted because of that album. I mean, her career before that was still something to, be talking about, but like she changed the world literally with that album.
She really elevated.
She did. And the fact that her and George Daniel together, I'm like, this is the craziest power couple.
Yeah. Also, I think about George, I'm like, he is hearing so many sick things. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, he heard Brat before anyone else.
That's true.
Worked on it.
Have you ever listened to I'm assuming you're a 1975 fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever listened to their Tape Notes podcast? That's so sick.
So sick.
Watching them deep dive into like how they create all these songs is insane.
He's so crazy. I like want to name like a dog George.
That would after George Daniel. Yeah. A lot of people could assume a lot of different names, like reasons why, but you're like, no, it's George Daniel. The real ones would know.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you heard any of his solo stuff?
No.
It's like just club music.
Really?
But it's really sick. Yeah.
That's sick.
It's
I
like
need to
if
listen.
Charlie made stuff that was less for the girls, It's just like there's like no lyrics. It's just like no thoughts, just vibes mainly. But that's the best
way to go.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I would give it a listen.
Okay. I trust you.
Yeah. Well, don't say that because then you're gonna come back and be like, that song sucks, dude. I also wanted to ask about what song proved to be the most difficult to see to the end for whatever reason.
Intrusive Thoughts.
Intrusive Thoughts.
The first one.
Yeah.
It was the first single, and it took like 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, from like start to finish, it took 9 months. Yeah, for whatever reason, it was so hard for me to get the right vocal. I think because I don't know, I just didn't know what I wanted it to be. It was one of those where the demo was like super different than what actually happened, but I love what happened. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that was Jordan Mitchell and Alex Thompson, and they were super like patient and sick. But yeah, that one was hard.
What kind of broke through?
I don't know. I think that bridge was like a huge, like actual bridge.
Yeah.
In the song, like that being like chaotic and just kind of like the breaking point of the song, like brought it together for me. And it's just like a ton of distortion, and like if you watch Alex play it live, it is so crazy. He is going ape shit. But I think that's what it needed. Like I didn't want it to feel like too sweet, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I wanted it to feel like social anxiety, like what's going on in your mind.
I mean, that makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was a good answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then we're actually doing a alternate version of it later in the summer.
Whoa.
And
what can we expect? What are the vibes?
There's like pedal steel on it.
Whoa.
It's really a 180.
Going country.
Yeah, totally. So it's more the like if the record version is like social anxiety, this is like the sadness after that. Okay. Of like, why can't I get it together?
The like the post party depression.
Yes. Yeah, it's like that.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Do you know when you're putting that out?
Probably like August, like late August.
Cool.
Is my plan.
Nice.
We're almost done with it. So I'm getting the vocal right on it again.
Cool.
For some reason.
I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool switch up.
Yeah. Well, it's fun to like Intrusive Thoughts was the first single, and then we're going to end it with the same, like this era with the same single, but just different. And then that's kind of going to be like a bridge into like what's next.
Gotcha.
Kind of
more pedal steel.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. More like indie pop.
Yeah. I was going to ask if there was any musical territory that you would like to explore further in the future. I guess that kind of pedal steel, that's a new sound. Yeah. Is there anything else you're excited about?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything we've done so far has been like us live tracking all together in a room, which is new for me and so fun. And it's like people figuring out stuff on the spot, and kind of like I was saying earlier, like just like refusing demo-itis.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've been like super inspired by, we were just talking about them, Gracie and Eliza from Lighthearted. Like,
shout out.
Their whole album is so beautiful to me. And I think and like, have you heard of Ryman?
I don't think so.
He's awesome. You need to listen
Ryman?
to him. Yeah, Ryman. He's cool. Like, just that kind of just like easy, like kind of indie, folky pop vibe is kind of the lane that I want to be in next. I feel like that comes really naturally to me. I grew up in Texas, actually.
Oh, cool.
And kind of grew up on like Lyle Lovett and George Strait and all these things. And I think it's like slowly seeping out a little bit. Not full country.
Lyle Lovett was not who I expected to hear right now.
Yeah,
I know. That's cool.
I know. But it is funny how like when you start to be a little bit more honest, like your first musical inspirations kind of come out.
Yeah, mine is Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like, oh my God, I'll never escape Iris.
Yeah,
it's always there in the back of my mind.
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool to embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, just see where it goes.
Totally. I wrote down here, I read your Voyage ATL interview from like 4 years ago. And there was something in there that I thought was really, really interesting. that I wanted to bring up, if you don't mind. I'm gonna quote you here.
So scared.
I know.
What you're gonna say.
You said you were talking about how you decided to not go to college to pursue music full time. You said there were times when I felt like I was the only person doing something different. I felt like everyone around me had a plan for their life by the spring semester of senior year, while I felt a bit inadequate to take on a full-time music career. And that struck me because I also did not go to college, and everybody in my school all went to college. I went to LA for acting, actually.
Dang,
and
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's
lore.
Funny. The two, the lore is dropping. The two worlds, my acting world, my music world, like there's very little bit of crossover. But so I felt the exact same thing. I was like, I feel so seen right now.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask about your experience with that and like what it was like navigating, seeing everybody else choose a traditional path, and you're like, there's times where you are confident, and then, like you said in the interview, you start seeing people get their acceptance letters, and they have like the names of everybody on the board where they're going to college, and you're like, question mark.
Yeah, I know. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
So take us back to that time, and what those feelings were like and how you're feeling now.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that was such a funny time period. It was hard like seeing everyone go out, and I was just like in my parents' house and being like, and they live in Alpharetta. So I was super in the like, you go to an SEC school and like,
totally.
You're gonna become a lawyer.
Right.
And credit to my parents. They were super supportive and were like, yeah, like don't waste money doing something that you are not gonna do. When it all comes down to it. I feel like I had enough awareness about myself to know like I would do anything to make it work. And so I was kind of just willing to like take a chance and be sad for a little bit if it meant that like 4 years down the road I'd be like doing what I wanted to do. But it was hard, and
it's like the emotional investment.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the emotional investment comes even before like actually doing something, and following through with it. But I think after a year of being at my parents' house, I was like, I could probably take control of my life a little bit more. And so I just ended up actually moving to Athens and like bridging the gap of like, well, maybe I can't actually go to school, but like I can still put myself in a city that has stuff going on and like people who might understand me a little bit more, and who are like doing music. And that's when I moved into a house with Eliza Huffman from Lighthearted.
Yeah,
I keep talking about them a lot. I love
they're great.
But she was like honestly a saving grace for me that first year. I was like, oh, like there are people who want to do this too, and I don't feel so like bummed that I'm not studying,
world geography.
Yeah, totally. Journalism,
business administration.
Totally.
Yeah,
totally. So yeah, and I'm so glad I didn't, because I've talked to so many other people now who I get to be like, yeah, you don't have to go if you don't want to. Like it ends up being fine, and you'll do what you got to do. Yeah. And like I worked restaurant jobs, and I worked at the Expat in Athens, and I was like a horrible waitress. But it helped me pay the bills.
Yeah.
And
the crazy thing is, a lot of people who go to college do the exact same thing right after.
Totally. Oh, that's the thing, is like you realize like I am not that special for not going to college.
No.
And it's more common than you think, especially nowadays. Like you don't have to have a degree to be able to know what you're doing.
No, it's
called YouTube.
It's called YouTube, guys. Look it up. ChatGPT. Although I guess we didn't really have that as much a few years ago, but no, it really is such a like a weird subject for me, and I don't know about you, but yeah, people like, I don't know. I just think about there were definitely times where I'm like, oh my God, should I have gone? Like my friends, they all had a great time. And then, I got past that point, like of when I would have been in college. And I've met so many people who are, doing the same thing I'm doing or working, not jobs they don't want to work, and they're not making a lot of money, and they have $60,000 in debt to go to to go to a school that they just kind of partied the whole time, or I do feel like maybe I missed out on some of the social aspects of it, but that's the sacrifice. You're just gonna have to make if you do want to. If you know from a younger age something you want to do. So what would be your advice to either someone who is thinking about not going to college to pursue their dream / what would you tell your younger self nowadays?
Aww, that's so sweet. I mean, I think I would just say, like, if it's for you, it'll find you. And I know that sounds super cheesy and cliche, but it's like if you're wanting to do something, you'll kind of naturally fall into circles of people doing that. Like, I think it's like you'll know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And just like being intentional of like putting yourself out there and like owning what you want to do, and not being scared to be honest with yourself. And I mean, I don't know, that kind of feels like a dumb answer, but like,
it's not at all. Genuinely,
I feel like I was just like, well, this is what I want to do, and then it happened, and I met a bunch of people who do the same thing, and
that's so huge when you do meet people who
totally
take a similar path, and you're like, oh, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's like, don't look for that in people who aren't doing that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're just looking for validation in the wrong places, and that's not going to help you.
Yeah, that's probably what I would say.
That's great advice. Well, let's take this over to the last 5, Adeline, where I'm just going to present this bowl here, this magic bowl of a bunch of different questions. You're going to pick out one at a time, and we'll just kind of go through.
Okay, cool. This is fun.
Yeah, it's a great way to end it, because then I don't have to think about questions to ask.
What's on your musical rotation? Ooh. I was actually thinking about this earlier, and I feel like I've been listening to like a lot of Friends who have been like putting out music.
I was like, Friends? I don't know that band. Cool.
No, like.
Yeah, you're Friends.
Yeah, like this is summer. I'm like, dang, a lot of people that I know are putting out like sick music. But also like Japanese House. I've actually been listening to a lot of Olivia Dean. I don't know if you know who that is, but
I don't think so.
She's fun. She's from the UK. And then like, I don't know, my friend Holden has a band called Major. I've been listening to them a ton.
Cool. Major?
Yeah, Major.
Are they in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
you
cool.
need to look them up.
Nice. This isn't, what's Holden's last name?
Venture.
Okay. There's somebody on Instagram, Holden Ladine.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't know who that is, but I figured maybe that would make that connection now, but
yeah,
still a mystery.
You need to connect with him.
Okay.
You guys would vibe.
Okay. Major.
He'd be
check
a
him
good
out
person to
after.
have on the podcast too.
Yeah, please. I need more people on here. So.
Yes.
So we got Major. I'm assuming Lighthearted is in there.
Oh, totally.
New Lighthearted.
Ripping it.
And then Olivia Dean, you said?
Yeah. Japanese House.
Japanese House, yeah.
Bleachers.
That's right.
Obviously.
Always.
Yeah, I love a good Holly Humberstone moment.
I don't think I've ever listened to her, but I've heard the name.
What?
Yeah.
You need to.
Does she fall in the like Madison Cunningham category?
Oh.
Or am I just making that up?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
But she's super. It's kind of that like indie grunge pop vibe.
Okay.
You should listen to the song Scarlet.
Scarlet.
As your introduction.
Okay, cool. Holly Humberstone, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
It's a great name.
Yeah. Okay, another one?
Yeah, let's do question number 2.
Oh, also I've been listening to a lot of Hotel Fiction.
Nice.
I love them.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Athens girlies. Okay, in the studio or playing live? Playing live.
Yeah.
I love playing live. And it's funny because it's so new for me. Like I've only, it's at least with my own personal stuff, I've only played like 4 or 5 shows.
Mm-hmm.
But all the songs take on like such a different persona live, and I love it. It's so fun. It's so fun.
It's fun to see how they translate and not fight it if it's not exactly how you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Because it's like a different thing.
Yeah. We've ended up having like 2 different sets now, which is fun. Like depending on what kind of show we're playing. Like we just played Eddie's Attic. And
with Comfort Club, right?
Yeah.
I had him on the podcast like 4 years ago. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the web of On That Note is deep.
That's wild.
I had him on when I was telling you before we started. We did it on Zoom.
Okay, crazy.
So this was like I probably had him on the podcast 2020.
Dang. Did you know him through LA? Like living in LA?
I did live in LA when I interviewed him.
Okay.
But I hadn't met him.
Okay.
Because it was like lockdown when I was doing the podcast or when I started it.
That's so fun. He's such a sweetie boy.
Yeah, he's very sweet, very sweet guy. And he's been making music forever. It seems like he just like puts stuff out all the time.
Yeah. I don't know him well, but yeah, he's grinding.
Yeah, definitely grinding. So yeah, shout out Comfort Club.
Yeah.
And I saw that you guys were playing together. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah. It was such a fun show. It was crazy. It was like random. It was like a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
But it was like packed and so fun.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it was fun to like create a whole different vibe for that. Because Eddie's is super intimate.
Definitely.
And you have to like, and I loved it. It was great. I think a lot of these songs are super like our set that we normally do is super like locked and like there's tracks and you know, but it was so fun to get to be like, you know,
a little more
no
loose
ears, like just wedges and vibe it out.
That's sick.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Question number 3.
These are so fun. Least favorite song or album from your favorite artist?
Man, a few people have gotten this one lately and they're like, why are you doing this to me?
That's so hard. What?
Yeah, it's just your one moment to like completely trash.
Roast
just roast your favorite artist.
Oh God. This is hard. You can cut out this silence.
No, it's like, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna make people listen to it.
In.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my favorite artist. I don't even know if I have one, but I don't know. I.
And it doesn't have to be one thing, you know. If there's like.
Okay. So Bon Iver.
Okay.
He just put out a record.
Yeah.
There's one song that's literally just like it sounds like a.
Like a dial tone.
Yes. And it makes me so anxious. Like I immediately
it's like 7 seconds.
I know. It's 7 seconds, but it's hell.
You're like, I'm not starting here. We're not doing this.
I'm not doing
I think it's the first song on the album.
I was like, what
it's
the
called
hell?
Dot. And you're like, no. We're skipping this one.
No.
That's funny. I like
that one, but I love him.
Well, do you like the first song on I? Because the first song is like same kind of deal where it's like 20 seconds, but it sounds like they're electrocuting an elephant or something.
Totally. Yeah, no. That's yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
Something about the dial tone.
Something just about that.
A frequency that's getting you.
Yeah, I want to hear like birds.
That's a great answer. I like that. Yeah. Bon Iver was out of pocket for that.
Yeah. Crazy. Are there any more you want me to?
Oh yeah. So that was what, the third one?
Third.
We're gonna do.
Are there 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
The last 5.
The last.
Used to call it Fast 5, but then we would spend way too long talking about stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just gonna take our time.
Okay, so describe the perfect setting to listen to your music. Ooh. That's kind of hard because with this album you can be
Oh yeah,
doing
all
a
over
lot
the place.
of things.
Yeah,
you can be in the club. You can be.
Maybe it's like a journey throughout a day. You start.
That's
here,
so true.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
End up at the club. End up at your house after crying.
Totally. Yeah. However you want to live your day, that's how you can listen.
Perfect.
But ideally, like, you could just be outside.
Just outside.
You could be outside on a blankie.
Having a donut.
That's how I would ideally listen to music.
That sounds nice.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty good.
You know,
all right. Question number. Is this the last one?
This is the last one.
Last one.
Okay. Most underrated song or album by your favorite artist. Oh, Lord. Most underrated? Can I pull up my Spotify for this?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I feel like
cheat sheet.
I need a cheat sheet. I don't know. I feel like... Oh, have you listened to the new Turnstile record?
I have. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I feel like it's kind of polarizing. I've heard different things.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I thought like they had like a few like long outros that I thought were cool. But I saw the movie. I haven't seen that yet.
It was cool. I went with my buddy Jeremiah. We went and watched it in Alpharetta, actually, and it was cool. I am not really a Turnstile guy.
Yeah.
Like I have no beef with them, but
it's just not your flavor.
Never really been my thing. But I really loved the movie. I thought it was fun, but I probably won't ever just put them on.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I kind of got on that train a little late, so I don't really have any specific thoughts about them. I just was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to the record.
It is a Turnstile summer for a lot of people, though.
Yeah. Okay, probably the most underrated. I don't know. The thing is, I was gonna say a Japanese House song, but like I feel like everyone listens to them, so maybe it's not underrated. But like,
well, it could be one that you think is less.
I feel like this
whole
record is like Good at Falling is the record.
What's the cover? I remember album covers a little bit. Oh yeah, because that one has the one that I like. So the third song, something about happy. You seem so happy.
You seem so happy.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Yeah, I love that song. That one's fun.
Let's call that the most underrated.
Sick. Love it. Yeah.
That's a lame answer. That's my contribution. I can't think.
That's okay. Some of these questions are like a little.
It's off the dome.
Yeah.
But
put you on the spot.
I feel like her latest record, everyone jumped on the bandwagon.
Oh, really?
But I have been loving this record for a while since it came out, 2019.
2019. Oh my God. It was like a lifetime
ago.
What
were you doing in 2019?
God, if you could go back, tell myself. I don't know what I would tell myself.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode. But this has been our time. On that note, Adeline Hill, thank you for joining me on the pod. Thank you for bringing the donuts that we'll eat off camera now.
Yeah, we don't have to do ASMR.
No, we don't have to do that. You guys got some podcasts for that. That's not us. But yeah, thank you for coming out. Everybody go listen to A Wide Range of Emotions.
Yeah.
Great album. Do you have any shows coming up that you want to promote or any songs? I know you talked about the reimagining of.
Yeah. That's probably the next thing. I have a few shows in the works, but
cool.
They still need to be, locked down.
Well,
but yeah.
Give her a follow at Adeline Hill, right? On Instagram.
It's actually Adeline.
Adeline Hill? Fuck.
Yeah.
I meant to ask you that ahead of time. Fuck. This is a horrible way to end this episode. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's such a hard name.
All right, let's run it back. We'll just restart.
Yeah.
Well, Adeline Hill, thank you for coming on the pod.
I
really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This has been so fun.
On that note, with Parker Whirling.